Good morning. It's July 9th. I'm down here at OK Tire. Our product placement, they'll still charge me for the work they're doing on my car, but all the same, this is where I am. Nothing serious. The air conditioning is just a little anemic, so I don't know if it needs recharging or something, so I hope it's nothing serious. And our hottest weather is coming up this week. So there's another reason I wanted to walk in the morning, because it's going to be quite warm this afternoon. It's already warm in the sun. So this is a walk I've done many times, but I'm walking from down here, the south end of Albert Street, all the way up this sidewalk. At some point, I'll cross Albert Street and back to home. It's about a 45-minute walk based on previous experience. And again, the gimbal is continuing to act so that I have to keep my finger on the... What I don't understand, as I said before, is why it won't let me tape it in position. If holding my finger there works, why won't putting a piece of tape there work? I don't get it. Probably get the car washed here later. That'll be exciting. It needs gas, so I'll fill up and get the car washed. Very green. If there's anything new along here at the moment. There's your propane for barbecues. Our barbecue has not been used now for a couple of years. Whenever I do take it out, I'm going to have to try to check the hoses. Because of all the work going on the deck, the barbecue is sitting in the garage. There's where I will come out after I wash the car. Strip mall here. The cottage is the restaurant's been there forever. I think I've only been in it twice in like 30 years that I've lived here. 35 years I've lived here. Going on 36. India House. It's not always India House. Once upon a time. Was that Earl's or was that the Keg? I can never remember which one I got Keg. But Earl's was along here somewhere. Went there many times and have forgotten. Gonna hold this morning so I can take my finger off of it? No. Yes? No? Maybe not. Big co-op gas station. Oh, what kind of vehicle that is. Some sort of hopper. Terracat. Like the name. It's the Red Bull truck. Oh yeah, there's a new liquor store, co-op liquor store. Unfortunately, it is not connected to... There's one in Saskatchewan that is just fabulous, and has a really good woman, seems to be the manager, who really knows her stuff. But apparently, that doesn't necessarily carry on just because this is also a co-op grocery store. And I've heard this one isn't as good, but I haven't been there yet. Nope, sure enough, it snapped up again as soon as I moved my finger. Pure Country, 92.7 radio station. Interestingly, for me, the guy who played Gaston in the production of Beauty and the Beast I was in Saskatoon many years ago, 2007, came up here, or down here, and was a DJ at 92.7 there for a while, but I don't know where he's gone now. There's the new Keg, which I've only been in a couple of times as well. Yeah, hard to believe it's been 16 years since I did that production. kind of the peak of my professional career. I am a professional actor, member of Canadian Actors Equity, but the professional roles have been few and far between. Always been a sideline. Now I am primarily a publisher, apparently, not even a writer, but we'll see about rebalancing that going forward. Next year I will be publishing fewer books. And I may publish a couple of my own next year. One for sure that I've had for a long time. It's been at some publisher in the States now for, 4 years, which is ridiculous. And they keep saying, well, it's in the queue, before they even make a decision on it. They're not very good about responding to emails either. So various things in this office building here. Burger King. If that's your preferred fast food restaurant, there it is for you. Other stuff over there, of course. That used to be a brew pub over there, but now it's Canadian Blood Services. My doctor used to be over there too, but no longer. Actually, I had my annual physical this Friday. Don't worry, I won't live stream that. Nobody needs to see that. It's the Atlas Hotel, the big water park. Popular for birthdays. Used to bring Alice here for occasional birthday party. I don't know if we ever hosted one of hers here, but I remember bringing her here for friends' birthday parties. Got a number of, lots of events in here. It's very popular for, little banquets and things. This is where Lyric did its 45th, Regina Lyric Musical Theatre did its 45th anniversary. Gala was here, which I sang in, of course. I should mention again, if you're interested, that on Saturday I celebrated my upcoming 65th birthday with a one-man show at the Artesian. Well, two men, if you count Rob Urson, who's it's a murder of crows. Can't see that one. These two are just sitting here. And there's another one up there. They're all having words with me. They didn't like me walking through their little shaded place there. I was at the Artesian, and it's on my YouTube channel if you'd like to watch it, or part of it. I'd watch the whole thing, personally. A Senior Moment with Edward Willett. You can find it right here on this very YouTube channel. That's the new Earls, I think, of it, although it's been there for 20 years now, probably. And then, of course, Crocus and Ivy over here, once upon a time, was Book and Briar Patch, our favorite bookstore. I did events there. On July 20th, I'll be interviewing Robert J. Sawyer live on stage at Festival of Words in Moose Jaw. I remember coming here for one of his book launches, book tours. We've been friends for a very long time, and I just published his latest novel in print, The Downloaded. He's a Hugo and Nebula award-winning author, Canada's best-known science fiction author. So, looking forward to doing that. I need to coordinate with him to see what he wants to talk about. So I'll reach out to him this week. This is now called the Royal Hotel, which is always funny to me because the hotel in Weyburn, the old hotel in Weyburn, is the Royal Hotel. This has been many things. I still think of it as the West Harvest Inn, but I think that was its previous incarnation. Its restaurant over there is where I had brunch on the morning of my wedding back in 1997. It's called something else then. It's called Steele's now, but it was called something else then. And then there's also a Irish pub attached. Or no, that's back at the... No, that was back at the other one. Yeah, not this one. There's an Irish pub attached to the Atlas, I guess, where I famously had A pint of Guinness spilled on me while listening to the Arrogant Worms one night after the symphony. Well, we left the symphony early to be there. This is a fairly new hotel here in this Fairfield. I've eaten lunch in the London Bell there a couple of times and worked in there. It's pretty nice. KFC. I haven't eaten KFC in ages. My mom used to like the one in Weyburn because it was, I think, the only one in the country that offered a Sunday buffet. So it was very popular for the after-church crowd. Not have to wait too long here. By the way, I made sure my microphone was well charged today, so it won't be a repeat of yesterday when it was silent for the first 12 minutes of the walk. I hate that because, of course, I'm blathering away like this, and there was not even a recording of it. I was literally talking to myself. I'm always talking to myself, but usually there's other people can listen too. It's a big empty lot here. I keep expecting something to be built in, but so far nothing. Oh, look, someone said good morning. Good morning, Kevin, in Toronto. One more block of the commercial area, and then we're into other things. Of course, I'll walk up this side, which takes us by all the government buildings, the Kinsey Art Gallery, west end of the Legislative Building. And probably cross Albert somewhere along there, maybe this side of the end of the bridge, or else I'll walk along the lake for a little bit. Yeah, so this lot has been empty for a long time. I think it had gas stations in it or something. And I thought I saw a sign that said it was... Oh yeah, here's the sign. It still says for lease. Oh, they're planning to build an office building. That's what it is. And they're leasing it. Right now it's breeding mosquitoes in that puddle right there. There it is. That's what's supposed to be built here. Not too exciting. Looks like every other office building of that kind along South Albert. That used to be called the Golden Mile Center, but no longer. Western Pizza I've been in many times. They have a big room you can have to yourself, so it's great for cast parties and things like that. Oh, I really can't read anything this morning. Can't read that. I'm sure it was fascinating, but I just can't make it out right now. Too bright right here. Also, my eyes are never the best. My right one has been bothering me a lot. I'm be happy to see the eye doctor in a week or so. Checkup. Something weird's been going on with it. It's gummy more than it should be. It may just be that my contact is irritating it, that I need a new contact in that eye or something like that. Anyway, I'll find out soon, I hope. Okay, once we cross here, we're out of the commercial area. So go by Original Joe's. I've never been in there once, I think, since it opened. They wouldn't let in minors, and Alice was a minor, and so we never got interested in going, and now that she's not a minor anymore, We're out of the habit. The Hobbit. This will be the shadier side of the street to walk down too, which is another reason to stick to this side. Be nice to make this light, but I don't know if I will or not at this pace. It's a pretty long light, so maybe I will, since it's on Albert Street. Yeah, I'll make it. Go by Marion Gardens. Used to be a school there called Marion. Now it's seniors' residence. Or assisted living, I guess, is a better description. Then we'll be in the shade. Maybe I'll be able to read. Robbins is only in Regina? Interesting. I assumed it was a big chain. Hey, let's go up here and walk along the sidewalk. In the trees, a little bit further away from the traffic. It's very nice along here. Shady, green. These big trees here to cut the noise of the traffic. Very nice right here in the shade. Lovely. I was going to walk right up to the entrance there, but there's a wheelchair bus there. Okay, this is the front of the main part of this. We did know somebody that lived here for a while in later part of your life that would drop her off here once in a while. I don't know what he's doing. He backed out of that other place and then drove down this way. Guess he went down the wrong road to begin with. Of course, the other side of the street has increasingly big houses as you walk along this way. And comes the next part of this complex. Marion Grande, this one's called. Or Marion Grand, I don't know how they pronounce it. Then we'll come up to Regina Christian School, which used to be a boys' like seminary-like school, I'm told. Once you get past the complex here, and I think there's just some open green space, and then it's the schoolyard. I'm not sure exactly where the schoolyard begins. Look how green the grass is. However, it's supposed to be hot and dry this week. I don't see much threat of rain yet. There's some in the long-range forecast, but this week is supposed to be in the 30s. Which is why I took the car in to get the air conditioning looked at, because it has not been keeping up on hot days. And I drive to Saskatoon tomorrow afternoon. It's probably going to be hot. And back again on Thursday when it's going to be hot. So. Not impossible I'll do a walk in Saskatoon, but I'm not promising anything. See how I feel and what the temperature's like. Probably won't walk tomorrow because I've got so much work to do. I won't want to give up an hour in the morning when I have to In the afternoon, we'll be lost to driving up there. We're going to the jazz festival. Guests, pavilion, I guess you'd call it. Now, it's actually illegal to ride on the sidewalk, bell or no bell. You should be on the street in that vehicle. That's my understanding, anyway. I guess the schoolyard actually begins on the other side of that fence. And the rest of this is probably city-owned green space. I mean, I understand why people ride on the sidewalks along Albert Street. I probably would do it too. But he came up really fast and was not very careful about going past me. It's the back of the school. Well, maybe I was in here once. Yeah, maybe once, but that's it. It's been here, at least it's been in operation for 40 years. I don't think it's been here for 40 years. Could be wrong. A lot of work going over on the house, going on over on the house on that corner. All right, now we get into the Wascana Center on the other side of this street, and that's where we'll get all the government buildings and the art gallery. We'll go by here in a minute. Wait to cross. Yes, I will. Of course, the car should have waited for me to cross, but you could see I was standing there. It still turned in front of me. When you're a pedestrian, you sometimes realize how annoying things that you may do as a driver without thinking of are to pedestrians, and that's one of them. I've probably done that. That's the McKinsey Art Gallery over there. There's the main entrance. It's really a T.C. Douglas building, and it has government offices in there as well. But our main reason for coming here is to go to the McKinsey, which is sort of this wing to the left. And it's all government offices over there. Good look at the entrance. Now we'll go by 2 government office buildings and the legislative building. It's the next things on my agenda as I walk this way. Walk this way. Nice and shady, so good time to do the walk today, and a good side of the street to do it on. when I go back for the car, I'll Uber it. I half expect them to give me a note that it's ready before I get home. Quite possible. They said they were taking it in right away. But so far, nothing. Lots of greenery along here. Loading docks. The next building up there is Lloyd Place, named after Premier Lloyd, previous premier of the province. All three of them are named after former premiers. This one, of course, as I said, is the T.C. Douglas building. And here you can see, as it come back around here, well, actually with the trees you can't really see much of it, but it has a long, low prairie vibe to the design. Maybe I can get more of it. Yeah, up here. You can see it a little better. There we go. So the architecture really ties in to the landscape. There's a big bowl there where they used to have symphony concerts in the fall. Then they moved it out into the valley somewhere. I think it was in the valley, then it came here, then it went back out to a different place in the valley. I think is how it worked. I haven't been to one for a long time. And I don't know if they're still doing them with their budgetary constraints at the moment. Next is Lloyd Place. I know the environment department's in here because I did some work for them. I was up in this building, the opposite corner from where we are now. I was editing a whole bunch of stuff about the boreal forest, as I recall. And I did it, got paid for it, and promptly forgot it all. Been odds and ends like that over the years. I always hope it'll lead to more. Usually it doesn't. There you go. It's all Lady Place, front entrance. Up next is Walter Scott Building, named after the very first premier of the province. If I'm smart, I'll plug in my microphone as soon as I get home so it's fully charged next time too. If I do that every time I bring it in, I'll never have to worry about it running down like it did yesterday and has done before. Crosswalk here. So the lake is just over there, past those trees. Well, a bit more that direction, past those trees. Yeah, cemeteries can be interesting for sure. I've never walked in one here, but when I was years and years ago now, 40 years ago, more, yeah, 40, almost 40 years ago, in Europe, I remember walking through old, and of course there's, like in the Vienna cemetery, you've got, the graves of Mozart and Beethoven and people like that. I think they were both there. composers anyway, they're probably done decomposing after all these centuries, but their bones are there. But, you know, Edinburgh, I remember walking through cemeteries and looking at the old stones. It's interesting. So here's the Walter Scott building. Probably built in the 50s, this one. Probably built while Tommy Douglas was the... Oh, there we go. I just got to notice that my car is ready. Do I just turn around and walk back? No, because I need to pick something up at the house. So I'll go home, I'll get that, I'll go pick up the car. I was afraid that would happen. If I'd known it was going to be that short, I would have brought my computer down and just worked in a coffee shop. But then I probably wouldn't have gotten in a walk, so a walk is important. Anyway, the Walter Scott building. Of course, this is the new handicapped entrance with the chairlift. It was never there originally. Originally, you were just kind of on your own. If you couldn't manage the stairs, well, somebody would help you, but they didn't make any concessions to that sort of thing in the old days. It's not that there weren't people who couldn't go upstairs in the old days. They just didn't find a way to accommodate them generally. Then the wheelchair ramps came along. We had one on the back of our church building, which was way too steep. If you tried to do it in the chair, you would have hurtled down and smashed into the door at the bottom. But with help, you could do it. The Artesian, where I did my show on Saturday night, which again is on my YouTube channel. Go look up for A Senior Moment with Edward Willett. Didn't have her. I remember carrying my mother-in-law in a chair with the help of someone else, obviously, up the front steps to go to a show. But then sometime after that, they put in a chairlift, which is good because it opens on the side on the ground floor, and then you can either go up to the theater or down to the lobby, the lounge. And quite a few people used that last night, or Saturday night. Excuse me. All right, coming up next is the Legislative Building. I'm trying to get the hiccups for some reason. And I'll probably cross over to the other side soon. Maybe not here, but I think on this side of the bridge probably. There's a fountain here, but is it fountaining? I don't think they've got the fountain going. I wonder why. It's definitely not fountaining. That's too bad. I really like this little fountain. Hope it's just being worked on. Yeah, right there. Should be a fountain. Which I've walked by many times and taken pictures of. There's not even any water in it, so it clearly hasn't been running at all this year. Well, hopefully they fix it at some point. Well, there's water in it, so maybe it was running, and then for some reason it broke down. Don't know. Okay, so behind the trees is the Legislative Building. It'll emerge here in a minute. I'm hoping that means all they had to do was put in a new charge of whatever it is they use in air conditioners now. There we are, the West Wing of the Legislative Building. Over there is the Provincial War Memorial, the names of the Saskatchewan people killed in numerous wars, but especially the First World War and the Second World War. Although Afghanistan is also represented over there. Maybe UN peacekeeping, I don't know, I don't remember. Everything is silhouetted. There's the ledge. Not well lit from this direction at this moment. There's a good look at the War Memorial. and I am sweating, as one does after this much walking on a warm day. I think I'll go. Oh, I missed that light, so okay, I'll at least go down to the bridge here. I don't think I'll walk down by the lake. Every time you get that jerky motion, it's because my finger slipped off of this stupid button that for some reason is refusing to stay down like it's supposed to. I still think I should be able to tape it, but maybe I need to tape it part way down, not all the way down, because it was jerking like crazy when I tried to tape it all the way down. Got to be some way. All I'm doing is holding my finger there. I don't know why tape couldn't do that. Whew. Use my shirt tail to wipe off my face here so my glasses don't fall down. There's the lake. Well, maybe I do go down by the lake. Why not? And take a look at the sinkhole on the other side. Grab the usual crosswalk over there. It's really more direct since I've already come this far east of Albert. If I cut through the grass. Wascana Lake. I'm reading a book by David Weber. I can't remember who his co-author was. Out of the Dark into the Light, or I think those are the two so far. Anyway, and in the current one, it's briefly, there's been an alien invasion. They use kinetic weapons, strikes from orbit to wipe out most major population areas and military bases and stuff. And unexpectedly, vampires show up and chase them off. That was a surprise because I thought I was reading pure science fiction. I'm sure there's some sort of science fiction explanation for these vampires, but they are vampires. And in the second book, they're trying to rebuild and get prepared to go after these aliens who came and attacked Earth. And anyway, one of the places least affected by the kinetic strikes was Regina, although Moose Jaw was not hit, and it would have been because it's an air base, but he overlooked that little fact. So the premier of Saskatchewan is kind of the de facto prime minister of what's left of Canada. And there are scenes set here in Regina and Moose Jaw. But you can always tell when somebody, they've done their research, but they somehow miss the little tiny things. I'm sure I've done that a million times, writing about real places. So instead of calling this Wascana Lake, he calls it Lake Wascana, which absolutely nobody calls it. Geese everywhere. Everywhere geese. A goose. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little geese. 4 little, 5 little, 6 little geese. This is why walking through the grass back there was a bit fraught. I don't know what I stepped in on the way. And when I did the fireworks video back on July 1st, I was standing right up there on the bridge. This is the dam. This is the dam that makes the lake. Such as it is. It's a small dam, big bridge, and a good-sized lake. And then we have this sinkhole, which opened up early last year, I think. I thought it was natural, but it wasn't. It's a collapsed water main, I think, or something like that. Ate out the ground and down it came. And so far, they have made no efforts to fill it in this year. I presume eventually they have a plan for making it go away, but right now it's lined with concrete. It has pumps all around it, and it just sits there. Okay, up to the crosswalk. 10 more minutes home. I guess I'll maybe wait a little bit till I've cooled off, and then I'll Uber down and get the car back. So here's the sinkhole. I mean, this is clearly temporary, but it's a fairly permanent sort of temporary. And up here's the crosswalk we will take. This is Speaker's Corner. Almost home. Almost there. Almost there. Wascana Bridge. Sorry, Albert Street Bridge. Over Wascana Creek. And we wait. Sometimes quite a while you wait here. Watch the cars go by. Zoom, zoom. Old Mazda commercial. Zoom, zoom. Always takes longer than you think it should to change. But it will change eventually. Assuming the switch is working. Yeah, there we go. Good timing for the person coming the other way. Changed it for you. Nice house here. I know who owns it, but I've never been in it. But I really, really like it. Always have. Reminds me of Texas houses. Florida houses and things out that way. Most houses, because of the way the development worked, older houses in Regina are mostly upright and on a fairly narrow piece of land. There's Harrington Mews, where my character Wally Knight lives, and my Shards of Excalibur young adult fantasy series. This one I like too. It's like a similar plan, but smaller. Although I think it's bigger than it looks because it goes quite a long way back from this fairly small street front. It's actually quite large. Whereas the other one is more spread out along the street. I don't know which one is actually bigger, square footage wise. Or later. I have quite a wide angle going on here. I wonder if I accidentally moved it out to a more wide angle. That's okay. Makes things interesting. Apparently Perlator is dropping something off right here. On Angus Boulevard, which joins Angus Crescent, which joins Angus Street. Because whoever Angus was, some city councilor, for some reason, he got a lot of stuff named after him. Most people just get one little thing. My grandfather-in-law has a street named after him. I think it's a street, not a crescent. He was a noted local citizen. Yeah, I'm back in the sun, so hard to read that. Big shade here in a minute. I presume the comment about ducks goes back to the other side of the bridge, so there may be a little delay here. Yeah, well, there's lots of standalone homes. There's lots of multiple homes too, especially out in the new developments. Much higher density in Harbor Landing and the Greens, where I walked last week. Mixture of standalone homes, duplexes, quadruplexes. Is that what you call them? But this is an old neighborhood, and most of the houses here are 100 years old, as I was mentioning yesterday, so are close to it, or more than in some cases. Ours will be 102 years. We'll have to have some sort of, maybe by then we'll have our hot tub. We can have a hot tub party for the house. No, probably not. But at least we should have our deck, and maybe our backyard will look halfway decent again, instead of being full of lumber and stuff and overgrown with weeds like it is right now. Although there is a beautiful mock orange back there, which blooms this time. That's one of the last things that blooms, and they're really lovely. And ours back there is so big now, it almost covers the entire front of the garage. And it's much more interesting to look at than the garage when it's blooming. Most of the time it's kind of scraggly looking, but that's true of lilac bushes too. Or most bushes, they're most attractive when they're blooming. Having school up there. Almost home. I'll take a few minutes to cool off, and I'll go down and get the car. And I have some errands to run while I have the car. And then back to work. Laying out books today. I've got 3 I have to get done, and then a 4th as well. And it's a picture book, so it'll be a little harder. But its deadline is not immediate, so. Okay, we will stop here. Thanks for walking with me. Like I said, I don't know. Might it be a couple of days before you see me again? I don't know. We'll see. Bye for now.